Similar to well-known Godzilla and Ultraman video games and films, Gigabash is a classic take on the kaiju combat genre, in which players battle as enormous robots and even monsters. Regardless of your own personal opinion towards the fighting genre, it is more on the lines of something that possesses a substantial amount of character. I do believe that this game is effectively able to captivate the player through the story or through the physical appearance and background of each monster and hero. While progressing through the story, I discovered that the most significant aspect of this game was it was trying to be sincerely entertaining. During my childhood in the 1990s, I don't believe I played many kaiju games. However, I still vividly recall the aesthetic sensation of uninterrupted fun gameplay. I feel as though the developers devoted a great deal of effort to make the experience as close to this as possible, and it worked out in the end. I really liked seeing the world around you crumble and be destroyed, as it was much more gratifying than seeing a simple cloud of smoke with little attention to detail that would enhance the immersion of being in a city that is being destroyed. In addition to this, it was very nice to see the numerous people who were at times running around on the ground in an attempt to evacuate the area, once again selling a bit more immersive gameplay. I felt like it was a lot more expressive that the monsters' distinct personalities were discernible through their facial expressions and bodily movements. While some appeared hostile and enraged, others appeared merely eager to make friends and have a good time while unknowingly wreaking havoc on the surrounding cities. One just cannot help but relate to these characters and monsters equally. The presentation of the story is really well done, transitioning from in-game visuals to the comic book aesthetic, which I felt really elevated the entire experience and enabled you to truly immerse yourself in the characters that you were controlling, as opposed to simply selecting one from the menu and playing it without any prior knowledge outside of maybe a movie. These panels and designs were aesthetically pleasing, and I do wish there had been more material presented, as I would have loved to see more of the story and these lovable characters. The gameplay does vary according to the character you are currently in control of. Pipiturus is more of a keeper distance fighter with the ability to reflect projectiles and decimate with a barrage of long-range attacks, whereas Goragong has more of an up-close and personal punch-you-in-the-face style. Out of all the characters I considered, Wooly has to be the most enjoyable to control. Despite the fact that he wasn't the strongest, his story was just so wholesome, entertaining, and thought-provoking that it made playing him feel fun, especially with his skill set. It's the type of gameplay you would expect to see with giant monsters fighting in a city, destroying buildings and wreaking havoc on the population. Online multiplayer is also accessible, although there weren't that many players, and many of the matches that I was paired up with other players felt a little bit too simplistic. It made me question whether or not they had even played the game prior to joining multiplayer. I feel like those who are seeking a kaiju fighting game that satisfies the desire of Godzilla or even Ultraman will not be disappointed with this one. Especially if you're only interested in the story mode, this game is an all-around masterpiece.